G's, 4 G's, yeah. 4 G's, 4 G's, 4 G's, let's go. 4 G's, 4 G's, 4 G's, look. Full syndication, full elevation, all generations, we already made it. 4 G's, 4 G's, 4 G's, yeah. 4 G's, 4 G's, 4 G's, let's go. 4 G's, 4 G's, 4 G's, look. Full syndication, full elevation, all generations, we already made it. We got Shot, Dot, Malcolm, Chris the King, plus the Doc. You know that's like 4 G's. Sports Mind. Real world, real problems, real news, real sports. We gon' let you know right here on 4 G's. 4 G's.
All right. Welcome to the first exclusive episode for 4G Sports. You know I'm your boy, the OG.
I am the king.
You know what it is. You got the Doc.
And as you see front and center, we have Chris Jackson, and I'm going to let him explain why he's here. Chris, it's all on you, sir.
What's my nickname? Can I be the owner or the franchise?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. I like that. All right, owner. It's your,
the owner.
I guess you're going to let it out the bag. Go ahead.
Hey, I appreciate y'all having me, man. Chris Jackson, born and raised in Pontiac, Michigan, Yaktown. So what up, though, to everybody out there? And excited for a number of reasons, but I am part owner of Sticky Cannabis operation. We own 2 stores currently are open in Michigan, 2 dispensaries, provisioning centers as they're called here. 4 more on the way by June. We're getting vertically integrated, so we'll have a cultivation or a grow hopefully by the end of this year as well. I am a board member for the National Cannabis Industry Association, which is the largest and the oldest membership association in the cannabis industry. So I was actually the first Black male elected to the board, about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, and now serve as the secretary for them. And I am also most recently the owner of a new team in the TBL, which is the basketball league. It's an alternative American basketball professional basketball league, and the Lansing Pharaohs in the capital here in Michigan, in Lansing. So super excited to start going down that journey. Appreciate y'all for having me.
All right, fellas. Do we have any follow-up questions real quick?
I just want to know real quick, because I know we'll probably get into this deeper later on into the future, but how many teams are in the TBL? It's the TBL, right?
Yep, TBL, the basketball league. You got it.
Okay.
So last year in year 3, there were 16 teams. This year in year 4, there will be 35 teams.
Nice. All right.
So all over the United States, I will say people like Steve Francis, the franchise, right? He owns a team out in Houston.
Nice.
Jerome Williams, the Junkyard Dog. He owns the team out in Las Vegas, and so we got some pretty high profile people who have decided to join the league this year. So yeah.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, that's all. I look forward to having a full episode of this.
No doubt.
Oh yeah. King?
Can you join the league right out of high school?
Yeah, 18 and up. 18 and up. So to be clear, the sweet spot is probably 21 and up, just because typically when you come out of high school, you go play for a college team, and then however it shakes after college is usually when you start to go down that route. But yeah, 18 and up. Anybody that's interested?
All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna save my questions for later, because that's gonna be a whole. Well, I'll say, because the 2 businesses that you own, I don't see how they're gonna mesh, but I want to talk to you about that later.
Absolutely, we can talk about that.
All right. Well,
I see how they mesh. Go ahead.
Yo, can I make a comment about that right quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I have this podcast called Canavision Midwest, right? And the goal is to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly in the cannabis industry. Every state has its own story to tell. And the Midwest usually gets overlooked because you're usually focusing on the East Coast or the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
And so, and we have stories to tell. So Megatron, right? Calvin Johnson, former Detroit Lions player. He had him on my show recently. Him and Rob Sims, right? Who were teammates, and it was right before he had been inducted to the Hall of Fame. So it was a pretty dope episode. Anyway, I asked the question outright, and I think Al Harrington, who used to play in the NBA from Viola, who owns a brand, right, talks about it a lot. Most players in the league, to the tune of like 75 to 80% of them, in some form or fashion, consume cannabis, right?
Good.
And so it's one of those things where how do we get rid of the stigmas? How do we normalize it? How do we make sure that the people who are currently making money aren't mad because they aren't making money anymore, right?
Yeah.
So, all of those conversations are happening simultaneously. But once federal legalization happens, in short, it's going to be hard for leagues to turn away from it. But it's already happening. I mean, Al Harrington's Viola brand, or his CBD brand, Replay, just got endorsed by the NBPA. So it's happening as we speak.
Okay. All right. So do you have any shout outs or anything? Because like I said, we're going to you got so much involved that we definitely have you come back to do a full episode, but we wanted to give you an exclusive so you can make your announcement.
No, I appreciate it, man. So shout out to the TBL, the basketball league. What you'll end up finding, I think, is that most of the owners in this league reflect the amount of players that are playing in that league, right? So in other words, if the league is 80% black, 80% of the owners, I think if you scope across the board, or at least upwards of 70 are also black. And that representation, in some form or fashion, right? And that representation is really important. It's the thing that I think we're hearing about at the highest levels in the NBA. And I think if we have a good alternative league that can provide quality, not only quality play from players, but a quality product in its entirety, I think what that does is help set the tone for where the NBA may go in the future, right? So shout out to the TBO. Not only that, but one of the only leagues that I knew of prior even to me joining that allowed for a CBD brand to be the league-wide sponsor, right? So setting the tone in that way where it's just an understanding, and this is kind of where I get to the cannabis piece of it, right? Because Sticky will be a sponsor of my team, right? The company that I own. And so, part of this is just normalizing the conversation because players are already doing it, right? A little known fact, and the main thing is how does it impact how they play ultimately? You know what I mean? And so a little known fact is that if we're hearing, so from the NBA, NFL, MLB, etc., if we're hearing about somebody getting in trouble for cannabis, it's probably their second or third time that they've gotten in trouble. So if we're hearing about it, it's because they're repeat offenders, because they don't want that negative publicity either necessarily.
Right.
So say all of that to say, the one of the main points I think I want to make is that there's this cross-cultural thing that exists between sports, music, and cannabis in urban America, especially. And so if we can control the narratives around the three things in urban America that kids think are cool, right? That, if we can say to the musicians out there, you can be independent, you can get your own strain and make money from your own likeness, right? To the musicians. If we can go to sports teams and say nothing wrong with wanting to play for a sports team, but actually owning one is a real possibility. And then if we can say you don't have to stand on the block physically because you can own a building that will allow you to legally sell the very thing that you're selling, and there's more money on this side. And you don't have to worry about getting killed. There's such thing as a corporate beef, sure, but it's not the same as what we know people go through on a day-to-day basis, right?
Correct.
And so if we can take those three things that are culturally embedded in what we do in our communities anyway, and find a way to bring them all together and really control that narrative, I think the future is bright. So shout out Lansing Pharaohs, coming to you in April 2022. Hitting the ground running now, but tip off will be in April 2022, and just excited to be on this journey.
All right. Okay.
Well, we want to thank you, Chris Jackson. Hey, wasn't Chris Jackson the point guard at
Yep.
LSU?
Yeah.
Denver Nuggets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks for coming on the show, young man. All your information will be on the bottom of the screen. Thank you for coming out.
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt. Of course, as usual, thank all of our 4G Sports subscribers and followers. Make sure you check out, Chris Jackson and everything he has to offer. And that's how actually my sign off is to you, sir, and to your Lansing Pharaohs. Good luck in the upcoming, kickoff or tip off for your team. I look forward to trying to find a jersey and rock that for you.
Say less. Y'all each get one. Y'all get a custom one actually. So look forward.
Right. There we go.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, man. Well, 4Gs, and of course, in April, we kind of want to be at the home opener, to support the squad. So we'll try to get down there just to support. All right.
Appreciate.
But we will have another episode with Chris, getting full detail. And as you can see, he's well educated on the cannabis side, the sports side, and also I don't know if he said it, but he's also was a politician. It's a lot of stuff to get into. We don't have time now, but we'll get into it later. But always, 4Gs, we out.